Hello and welcome to Sports 360, your weekly dose of all big sporting events across the globe. Here you will get all important updates from the sporting world, but let's get started with the cover story you are tracking this week. India's Test cricket is at crossroads. In December 2014, when Virat Kohli took over as India's full-time Test captain, you never felt the pinch. Now 7 years on, when India is at the brink of yet another transition in the format, Kohli will not be leading the transition. As of now, there are various candidates whose names are doing the rounds. Multiple former players have thrown their weight behind different players. More in the spot.
Rohit versus Rahul debate. It remains to be seen who gets the job next. Rohit Sharma, who was appointed India's Test vice captain for South Africa, is injury prone. He has missed more tests than he has played because of injury. If you remember, his test debut itself was delayed by 3 years because he was all set to play in 2009-10 against South Africa, but an injury on the morning of the game put paid to his hopes. Now it remains to be seen if the selectors want to gamble with Rohit as the next test captain. Remember, he is a year older than Kohli, plus we don't know how much longer he would want to play that longest format. Then there is Lokesh Rahul, who was still 6 months ago not even assured of a place in the Test 11. It was only thanks to injuries to Shubham Gill and Mayank Agarwal that he leapfrogged into prominence. His form in England and South Africa pushed him into a Test vice-captain's role in Rohit Sharma's absence. He even led India in the second Test at Johannesburg in the recent series, when Virat Kohli was ruled out due to a back spasm. With Sharma constantly breaking down, Rahul has emerged as a possible candidate as well to take over the Test reins. He will in fact be leading the ODI side this coming week in South Africa, so the tide could turn completely in his favour. Those who could have been worthy. The ideal replacement would have been Ajinkya Rahane, especially after his heroics in Australia in January 2021 when he beat the odds to come up trumps. But a lot has changed in the last year for Rahane. He has not scored runs, he has lost his vice-captaincy and now is on the brink of an exit from the Test squad. The other senior pro, Cheteshwar Pujara, is also on the way out after a poor South African tour. India also has a problem in the sense that if there has been a failing of the Kohli era, then it has been a lack of forward planning. No clear second in command was put in place, and it reflects in the way everyone is scrambling to see just who is going to lead the Test side. The coming 12 months are going to be a relatively lean period for Indian Test team, as they are set to feature in not more than 9 tests. The incoming Test captain will have enough and more time to move forward. The question is, does Indian cricket have the stomach for that much forward planning? Rishabh Pant, the dark horse? Former India captain Sunil Gavaskar has come up with a radical suggestion of making Rishabh Pant as the next Test captain. That could be an interesting move, but Pant himself has been on the edge for the past year. His returns with the bat and his own keeping has been below par. But Indian cricket needs a radical shift. Pant could well be an interesting shift in that sense because, as Gavaskar said, it might push to be more responsible. And the fact is, in the Test 11, he is the only one sure of a place across conditions. The only other person sure of his place both home and away right now apart from Pant is Kohli. The good thing for Indian Test cricket though is that the next set of away tours is still a couple of years away. That is when the real test begins for the new lot, who will be groomed over the coming 12 months. The major focus, as always, in the coming 2 years will be on the 2 World Cups, T20 World Cup in Australia later this year and the 50-over World Cup in India in 2023. Indian cricket's legacy since 1983 is defined by how you play the International Cricket Council tournaments, so that will continue to be the focus. India's Test cricket in any case will take a back seat in proper systems. All 3 formats will be looked at with the same lens, but that will not be the case in India. India's Test cricket, which rode a wave for close to 7 years, will endure a period of pain in a throwback to an earlier era. All the gains of the Kohli regime will be frittered away because of the complete mismanagement and lack of communication. Let us hope the doomsday predictions do not come true and a braver, fresher Indian Test squad emerges from this mess. Sports Desk, DD India.
The world's best cricketers from 16 international teams will clash in 45 matches as the pinnacle global event in men's T20 international cricket comes to Australia for the first time. Defending champions Australia are in Group 1 for Super 12 stage, which includes world number 1 England, New Zealand, Afghanistan and 2 teams to be confirmed from the first round of the event. India, who are currently the number 2 team in the world, drawn along with long-time rivals Pakistan, South Africa, Bangladesh in Group 2. Details in our next report.
Hosts Australia will face New Zealand in the opening Super 12 game of the next ICC Men's T20 World Cup in a repeat of all Antipodean 2021 final. The fixture list for the 2022 T20 World Cup in Australia has been released, with the draw for the first round and Super 12 groups also confirmed. The tournament will run between Sunday 18th October and Sunday 13th November, with 16 teams set to compete and 7 cities to host matches across Australia. 12 of those 16 nations are already confirmed, with the final 4 to be determined by global qualifying. The Super 12. England, New Zealand, Australia and Afghanistan have been drawn together in Group 1, with India, Pakistan, South Africa and Bangladesh heading into Group 2. The Super 12 will start in dramatic fashion in Sydney with a meeting between the 2 finalists from the 2021 World Cup, with the New Zealand facing defending champions Australia on Saturday, 22nd October. And the excitement of the opening weekend doesn't stop there, with India and Pakistan scheduled to meet on Sunday 23rd October, the second day of the Super 12 stage, in what will be one of the most hotly anticipated matches of the tournament. The Super 12 will run for a fortnight, with the 2 groups set to reach their conclusion on the weekend of the 5th and 6th of November. The key fixtures. In addition to the Australia versus New Zealand and Pakistan versus India matches, on the opening weekend, a scattering of other fixtures stand out as likely key games in Super 12 stage. There will be a repeat of 2021 semi-final between England and New Zealand when the 2 nations meet in an evening match on Tuesday 1st November in what is both teams' penultimate group game. And Pakistan are scheduled to face Bangladesh in Adelaide on the final afternoon of the Super 12 stage. The first round. The tournament will begin with a 6-day group stage to determine the final 4 teams to qualify for the Super 12. Sri Lanka and Namibia will be joined by 2 further qualifiers in Group A, with West Indies and Scotland drawn together alongside 2 additional teams from the global qualifier in Group B. The first round will consist of daily double headers held on alternate days at Hobart's Belarive Oval and Geelong's Kardinia Park, with all Group A matches at the latter venue and all Group B matches held in the Tasmanian city. All fixtures will be held between Sunday 16th October and Friday 21st October. The winner of Group A and runner-up of Group B will join Group 1 in the Super 12 stage, with Group B's winners and the second place team in Group A heading into Group 2. The knockout stages. The Sydney Cricket Ground will host the first semi-final on Wednesday 9th November, with the second semi-final held the following day at the Adelaide Oval. The final of ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2022 is scheduled for 19:00 local time at the 1,24,000 capacity Melbourne Cricket Ground. The tournament venues. There will be 7 venues in total at the tournament. Kardinia Park in Geelong will host 6 matches exclusively in the opening week's first round, while Belarive Oval in Hobart will host 9 games in total, 6 in the first round and 3 further matches during the opening 3 days of the Super 12 stage. Sports Desk, DD India.
Now, shifting focus to some international news, judges in Australia have dismissed Novak Djokovic's appeal against the cancellation of his visa. The world number 1 men's player was forced to leave country on the eve of the competition after the court failed to find fault with Immigration Minister's decision to cancel his visa. The decision is a major jolt for Djokovic's quest to win a 10th Australian Open crown and a record 21st Grand Slam title.
An Australian court upheld a government decision to cancel Novak Djokovic's visa. ending the unvaccinated tennis superstars' hopes of winning the Australian Open and racking up a record-breaking 21 men's Grand Slam titles. Ruling on a case that has gripped Australia and the sporting world for more than a week, a three-judge bench of the federal court heard government lawyers' arguments that Djokovic's continued presence risked whipping up anti-vaccination sentiment during Australia's worst outbreak of COVID-19 since the pandemic began.
The orders of the court are: 1. The amended application be dismissed with costs, such costs to be agreed or failing agreement assessed. 2. Reasons to be published at a later date. Those are the orders of the court.
A medical exemption that allowed the Serbian tennis world number 1 to enter the country without being vaccinated had sparked fury in Australia and became a political issue. Djokovic arrived in Melbourne nearly 2 weeks ago and promptly had his visa cancelled for failing to show why he was medically exempt from having the COVID-19 vaccine. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison welcomed the federal court ruling that upheld the cancellation of tennis superstar Novak Djokovic's visa, saying the decision will help keep our borders strong and keep Australians safe. It's now time to get on with the Australian Open and get back to enjoying tennis over the summer, Morrison said in a statement. The tennis star was set to be deported from Australia after a court on Sunday dismissed his appeal against the government's cancellation of his Australian visa on the grounds that his decision not to be vaccinated posed a risk to the country. In a statement, Djokovic said that he was extremely disappointed with the decision to cancel his visa to enter Australia, but would respect it and cooperate with the authorities in relation to his departure from the country. The Serbian champion said he hoped the focus would now return to tennis and the Australian Open Grand Slam. Soon after the Serbian left Australia, Prime Minister Scott Morrison has left the door open for Djokovic to compete at next year's Australian Open despite the tennis superstar facing an automatic 3-year ban from entering the country. The Serbian tennis players' visa troubles fueled global debate over the rights of people who decline to get vaccinated as governments take measures to protect people from the 2-year pandemic. Sports Desk, DD India.
Sania Mirza, the 35-year-old, is a former world number 1 in doubles, won majors in doubles along with the medals at the Asian Games and the Commonwealth Games. India tennis star Sania Mirza confirmed her retirement plans following a first-round exit in the women's doubles at the Australian Open. Mirza made her senior debut in 2003 and holds the record for the highest-ranked women's singles player from India. She had retired from singles in 2013 and registered notable victories against renowned players like Martina Hingis, Victoria Azarenka, Svetlana Kuznetsova, Dinara Safina, among others, during her 10-year career.
Sania Mirza, India's most successful female tennis player, announced that 2022 will be her final season on the WTA Tour after her first-round loss in women's doubles at the Australian Open on Wednesday. The 35-year-old said at the post-match press conference, "There's a bunch reasons for it. It's not as simple as, okay, I'm not going to play. I do feel my recovery is taking longer. I do feel, considering my son is 3 years old, I'm putting him at risk by traveling so much with him. That's something I have to take into account. My body is wearing down. My knee was really hurting today, and I'm not saying that's the reason we lost, but I do think that it is taking time to recover as I am getting older." Mirza, seeded 12th with Nadia Kichenok, went down to Kaya Yuvan and Tamara Zidanshuk 4-6, 6-7. The 35-year-old also said she had already decided that 2022 will be her last season and the first round loss did not trigger it. The 35-year-old is a former world number 1 in doubles and had a career best ranking of 27 in singles. She is currently ranked 68th in the world. Mirza, the first Indian woman to win a Grand Slam, has won majors in doubles along with medals at Asian Games and Commonwealth Games. Her last slam came at the 2016 Australian Open with Martina Hingis, with whom she formed one of the most successful pairs in women's doubles. The Indian has not played on the WTA Tour as regularly in the last few years, First due to her maternity break in 2018 and then due to the pandemic right after her comeback in 2020. Her last title came in September 2021 when she won her 43rd doubles trophy at the Ostrava Open with Shuai Zhang. Sports Desk, DD India.
Now shifting focus to football, after missing out on the Ballon d'Or, Bayern Munich's Polish striker Robert Lewandowski won the FIFA Best Men's Player Award for 2021. Alexia Putellas made it a double in the Women's Award as she bagged the FIFA Best Women's Player prize. Portuguese player Cristiano Ronaldo was honoured for becoming the highest scoring male in international football history.
The Best FIFA Football Awards 2021 recognized the performances and achievements of players worldwide from October 2020 to August 2021. Bayern Munich's Polish striker Robert Lewandowski won the FIFA Best Men's Players Award for 2021, with Barcelona's Spanish midfielder Alexis Putellas winning the FIFA Best Women's Players Prize at Monday's ceremony at Switzerland's Zurich. The 33-year-old Lewandowski won the trophy for the second time, edging Argentine Lionel Messi of Paris Saint-Germain and Egyptian Mohamed Salah of Liverpool.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. I'm very, very proud of these awards. I think that both are something special. Both are amazing. The first one will be always the first time, the first one. But if you won the second one in the row, it means a lot for me, because the time during pandemic time, it means a lot. Sometimes we're playing without the fans, sometimes with. That is a very difficult time also for players.
Barcelona captain Alexia Putellas collected the award for Best Women's Player. The 2021 Ballon d'Or winner is the first Spanish player in the history to win the FIFA Best Player award for either men's or women's football. The 27-year-old midfielder enjoyed an exceptional 2020-21 season with Barcelona as she led the Catalans to the Spanish League and Cup double as well as the Champions League. Chelsea won both the awards for the best coach, with Thomas Tuchel winning the women's award and Emma named the best women's coach. Tuchel had guided Chelsea to the Champions League title after taking over the club in January, while Emma won the Women's Super League, FA Cup and League Cup treble in England.
I cannot believe, and maybe it's better not to believe it, because just to enjoy it, and you can be very sure that I'm enjoying it. It's an incredible feeling.
I'm completely shocked. I'm completely humbled. That support network is massive, but also the amazing players and staff that represent me every day. Like, unbelievably fortunate. That's how I feel. So grateful, honestly. So ridiculously embarrassed as well.
Portuguese player Cristiano Ronaldo has been awarded the FIFA Special The Best Award. The Manchester United striker was recognized for becoming the highest scoring male in international football history. Ronaldo has scored more than 800 goals during a stellar career, and 115 of them have come for Portugal.
To be the best goal scorer ever, so it's good. I have to say thank you to my all teammates since 2004, which is I started to play for the national team until now. Great achievement. I'm so proud for that. I never thought that one day I will be the number one. So it's great. It's a great honor for me.
In another category honoured by FIFA, Eric Lamela, now of Seville, won the Best Goal Award for his trick Rabona shot for Spurs in the North London derby. And the medical staff and players of Denmark who had to deal with Christian Eriksen's collapse on the field at the Euro won the Fair Play Award. Sports Desk, DD India.
Liverpool reached their first Wembley final for 6 years as a double from world-class striker Diogo Jota set up a Wembley date with Chelsea in the EFL Cup. Liverpool struck after 19 minutes when Jota's cuff shot after a fine run beat scrambling Arsenal keeper Aaron Ramsdale. And this is Sports 360 Goal of the Week. Now let's shift focus to the game of football back home. The game is very popular in Northeast. So let's take you to the picturesque Manipur. Apart from the scenic beauty, the state of Manipur has got many followers for the sports. The 12th Shahid Manoranjan Singh Memorial Tournament currently underway in the state, and it has given wings to the Manipur's dreams to soar. Our correspondent Mukesh Shukla reports on how the game of football is changing the lives of people in the state.
Manipur and its love for the beautiful game is an open secret. Football is not just a sport, but an aspiration of people staying here. It's a no-brainer that in recent years, Manipur has become the hotbed of talent in the country. Taking forward the rich tradition of football, Manipur witnessed the 12th Shahid Manoranjan Singh Memorial. Organized by CRPF's 143rd Battalion, the tournament has seen 24 teams vying for honours. DIG CRPF R.S. Rutela said that the tournament will also see top teams from I-League taking part, which in turn will raise the level of competition.
ये बहुत बड़ा लार्ज स्केल में ये टूर्नामेंट किया जाता है और इसमें सबसे अहम बात है कि इसमें हम लोग ये प्रयास करते हैं और ये हमारे जो कमांडेंट महोदय हैं लोजम 143 के, क्योंकि ये खुद यहाँ के लोकल हैं, ये खुद प्रयास करते हैं कि अच्छी टीमों को बुलाएं और इसमें से जो अच्छे खिलाड़ी हैं, पिछली बार भी ये प्रयास किया गया था कि हम इनमें से जो अच्छे खिलाड़ियों को सीआरपीएफ में नौकरी दिलाई जाए इन स्पोर्ट्स कोटा। तो ये एक प्लेटफॉर्म बनता है स्पोर्ट्स के लिए, क्योंकि यहाँ से हम बहुत यंग लोगों को लेते हैं जो कि जिनकी एज बहुत कम होती है, जिससे कि उनका उसमें कैरियर बन सके।
The tournament, which will be conducted on a knockout basis, will be organized in close cooperation and support of Imphal West District Football Association and All Manipur Football Association. The tournament is expected to strengthen the grassroots level football in the state and push the graph of the sport upward.
We are coming here not only for the prize, but this platform, this tournament is giving opportunity to the boys, to the local boys, to expose their talent, to show what they got. So because there are many other clubs, good clubs like Neroka FC, Troy FC playing here, participating here. So obviously scouting is going on. So if the boys are playing well, performing well, they get the chance to showcase that they can do this.
अभी तो नॉलेज का प्लेयर भी बहुत आगे चल रहा है ना, आई लीग में भी और आईएसएल में भी बहुत है। अभी नॉलेज का अभी भी बहुत अकादमी हो रहा है और अभी आगे भी बहुत जल्द जाएगा।
Manipur has given India world champions in boxing and weightlifting, as well as footballers of national stature and acclaim. Tournaments such as these have the potential to act as a catalyst in the lives of players. Mukesh Shukla's report, DD India.
Real Madrid legend Penko Hento, the only footballer to win 6 European Cups, has died aged 88. Gento's club record of 23 trophies, which stood over 50 years, was equalled recently by Real Madrid captain Marcelo when he came on as a substitute in the Super Cup victory. Gento scored 182 goals in 600 matches.
Real Madrid bid farewell to club legend Francisco Paco Genco with a wake at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium as he died at the age of 88. Genco's club record of 23 trophies, which stood for over 50 years, was equalled on Sunday by Real captain Marcelo when he came on as a substitute in the Super Cup victory. Genco scored 182 goals in 600 matches, also acquiring among his trophies 12 league titles, 2 Spanish Cups from 1953 to 71. Real Madrid's club president and board of directors are deeply saddened by the death of Francisco Genco, honorary president of Real Madrid and one of the greatest legends of the club and world football, read Real's statement on their website. Genco played on the left wing in a formidable attacking lineup with some of the greatest names of the era that included Alfredo Di Stefano, Copa and Puskas. They won 5 successive European Cups from 1956 to 60, with Genco surviving a cull of that generation by former teammate turned manager Miguel Munoz and going on to lift the trophy for a 6th time in 1966. Genco played for the Spanish national team from 55 to 69, winning 43 caps and scoring 5 times. His debut came on 18th of May 1955 in a 1-1 draw with England in Madrid. Regarded as one of the greatest Spanish players of all time and one of the greatest ever players in his position, Janko was an extremely fast left winger with excellent vision and technical ability, which made him an effective assist provider. In addition to his control and creative ability, he was also a goal-scoring threat due to his striking ability from distance. News Desk, DD India.
And that's all in this edition of Sports 360. Before we wrap up, we leave you with the images of skydiving in Spain. Namaskar.